Welcome back, everyone. Here we are again. We're doing another virtual open house. We are live on YouTube tonight. I hope that everybody has had a wonderful new year and is ready to get started with a brand new year and hopefully a better year than we had in 2020. So my name is Suzanne Gronwald. I'm in admissions at River Valley Community College. We've been here before. Hopefully you've seen us before. Today we have a whole lineup of guests that are going to talk about community college, River Valley, and all the programs that we have to offer. My co-host tonight is Chris Garnjost. He works in the admissions department as well. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, welcome, Suzanne. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Looking forward to this evening. It's going to be, should be very informative and hopefully a little bit of fun too.
Yeah, and Chris's background is from our Lebanon area location. It's our Lebanon Academic Center. It's up there on the green in Lebanon, and I am sitting in front of the aerial photo of our Claremont location. We also have an academic center in the Keene area. We have our Keene Academic Center located right across from Keene State College at the Cheshire House. And so we welcome viewers from all three of our communities and hope that we have some information tonight that will help you decide, is it time to come back to college? One of the things I like to say about 2020 is that hindsight is 2020. So now we're looking forward, we're looking to the future, and I hope you are too, and you have some time to really reflect and think about what is your future, what does it look like for you? So Chris, do you have any pointers for anybody who's thinking about coming to college or has thought about it before? Maybe they've attended college in their past and haven't been in a while, but are ready for a change of career or a change of educational background.
Well, I always recommend everybody take a look at what they might be interested in and what kind of career change they might want to go to. What are their interests? What are the things that they can get excited about? And then figure out whether or not that's something that you can make a career of. And we actually have some tools on our website that it's called Career Coach that can actually help them figure out some of those things. And so if you go on our website and just type in a search for Career Coach, there's a great assessment that'll give you a lot of insight into what you've got skills for and what you might like to do and how they might fit into a career. So.
Awesome. All right, we also have a very quick virtual tour to show you. This gives you an idea of what our campus looks like and what you might expect if you come to college and see us working in person, which we are doing, by the way. And we have some information about that coming right up. So let's go to the virtual tour.
Welcome to River Valley Community College. This is our main campus in Claremont, New Hampshire. We also have two academic centers. One in Keene, where our students attend their courses on the campus of Keene State College, and the other in Lebanon, New Hampshire. River Valley is one of 7 in the community college system of New Hampshire. We're affordable and close to home.
Hello, I'm Alfred Williams, president at River Valley Community College, and I just want to welcome you to River Valley. We have a dedicated group of faculty and staff that are here to make your educational experience successful.
When you enter the Claremont campus, you'll be greeted at the one-stop front desk. This is where all of the admissions, financial aid, registrar, and business offices are located. Because we're small and give personal attention to every one of our students, you can drop in anytime to meet with us. The Puxta Library is located just as you enter the Claremont campus. Our librarian and staff are here to help you with your research with our online River Valley Discovery Service. The digital library features an academic search engine that you can access 24/7 to find ebooks, videos, articles, and other scholarly resources. It's quiet, comfortable, and set up for your success. For health and wellness, try our treadmills designed to let you study while you exercise.
Hi everyone, I'm Morgan and I work here at the Advising Career and Transfer Center. We refer to this as the ACT or the ACT. So in this department, we have advising for general studies and liberal arts. We also have early college. Jerry is our coordinator for that program. So if you're a high school student that would like to come in and learn more about that program, he is always available to talk with you or your parents. We also have transfer services here at the ACT. So if you're interested in transferring to a four-year institution after, come see us and we'll help give you some of that information.
You'll find River Valley Community College has faculty and staff that truly care about you and your educational journey. Many students start here, earn an associate's degree, and go right to work, while others take advantage of our transfer agreements with the University System of New Hampshire and other private schools and universities. Most liberal art, core courses, and general education credits earned here will transfer wherever you go. Get involved while attending River Valley with our student government, clubs, and Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. Starting your first 2 years of college close to home and at a fraction of the cost just makes sense. Thank you for joining us for this virtual tour. Get started on a degree or certificate program today by completing our free online application at rivervalley.edu and soar into your future.
So if you've never been to our campus, hopefully that gave you a quick sneak preview of what it's like on our Claremont campus. Mostly, we did show a couple of the exteriors of our other academic centers. You know, we talked a little bit about 2020 being behind us. I think a lot of people really took 2020 on as an opportunity, and as an opportunity to change things in their lives. And some of it was forced upon them, but many people decided that this was the year that they were going to go back to college, or they were going to go to college. A lot of people decided that this was a good time to stay close to home, to study right in their own communities, and you know, maybe work while they're in college. So I have Alfred Williams, the president of River Valley Community College, with us tonight. Welcome, Alfred. How are you?
Hi, Suzanne. How are you?
I'm doing great. And I know we've somehow and proudly have gotten through the COVID-19 2020 pandemic, actually faring pretty well. Can you talk about that?
Yes, Suzanne. And you know, I just want to say, Suzanne, it's great to be back online with you. If you're on our YouTube site, check out all of our other videos. I know that you and I have done a number of them, and there's a lot of information. And if you watch some of them, you get a real feel for the family atmosphere at River Valley. And you know, what we're really excited about and proud of in the last year is that even with this COVID crisis, we have been able to keep students on a path towards success. Last spring semester, when COVID hit, we had to go remote, and our faculty adapted very quickly. And we actually had students that had a higher success rate in that semester than the spring prior. So we did better getting students through in the spring that COVID hit. And then in the summer term, we saw a big uptick in our enrollment, and we were able to get a lot of students through a lot of classes quicker to get them faster on the path towards graduation. And then this past fall, we were just sharing at our staff meeting this week that the data of grades for the fall semester were very positive. The students did just as well in fall 2020 as they had in fall 2019. We saw a lot of students that met requirements for graduation. We were really proud that in this difficult time, we were able to deliver educational product and keep students on path, because it's really important, Suzanne. Our faculty are very proficient at online learning. Many of them are doing that now with just online classes. We still have a lot of on-ground classes, and Vice President Jen Kanoy is going to talk about COVID protocols and how we're doing that in a little bit. But it's also, we know how important River Valley graduating students is to the community. We know that our graduates are working in careers in the community, that they're providing vital services. They're working in the healthcare careers. They're working in those key professions that are needed. They're working in business careers. We need to continue to graduate them, and we know that. And so we all, as a college, took that on ourselves. And so if you're thinking of starting this spring, please, you know, reach out to us. Please do. We have lots of opportunities, lots of programs, and as a whole, we're all dedicated to getting you through, and getting students to graduate. So, Suzanne, did you have any questions that you wanted to ask me on that, or did I talk long enough that I took all the questions away from you?
No. I think it's great. I mean, one of the comments I think you made was about our enrollment staying steady, holding steady. And this spring, we're actually very close to being exactly where we were last spring when there was no pandemic and people were coming back to school. And, you know, I think that just says so much for us, because everybody's heard about the colleges around the country that have really had a hard time, but the community college has held its own. And it's the reason behind it, I believe, is because it is something that is right in people's community, that they can stay safely at home and still get their education. And so we've had a a fair amount of success there, and we're very, very happy about that.
Yeah, you know, Suzanne, I think that what you said is right on point. The word is out there that students have been staying on track, and that you know, it's reflected in our enrollment numbers, and that students can come, and we're gonna get you on track. And you know, we're also excited that we're the vaccination clinic for Sullivan County is located on our Claremont campus. And so with that, Suzanne, I'm gonna turn it over to Jennifer Conoyer, who's our vice president, who's going to talk about how it is that we've been able to stay open and the protocols we have in place during this difficult time. So Jen, welcome.
Thank you so much, President Williams. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Chris. It's great to be here tonight. So yes, we have stayed open, and we're very proud of the protocols that we've put in place. I will tell you that in the fall semester, with everything going on, we had fewer than 10 cases total, students, faculty, and staff together. And we know that none of them came into contact with that coronavirus while they were on campus, and none of them spread it. So that tells us that what we're doing is really working. And so let me fill you in a little bit on what that means. Now, when you become a River Valley student, you have lots of different options that fit whatever you're comfortable with. You can take classes fully online. You can take classes that are asynchronous, which, meet whenever is convenient for you. You can take synchronous online classes, which means that you meet with your cohort on Zoom, like, we're on YouTube on Zoom right now, and, get to know your fellow students that way. You can do something where sometimes you're on campus and sometimes you're at home, and we do have some classes that are also still fully on campus. So it's really about your comfort level and your program that will determine how your classes are structured. But when you do come to campus, here's a quick rundown of what happens. Everybody who comes on campus fills out what's called an attestation form. It's just a quick form that checks where you've been lately, if you're healthy, something that I'm sure you're very familiar. If you've been to a doctor's office or a dentist lately, you've had to fill out the same kind of form. And then when you enter the campus, we have these really neat, they kind of look like an iPad on a stand. You walk up to it, takes your temperature, and tells you your temperature is normal. Hopefully you've taken it before you left home, but just in case, we also screen everyone's temperature when they come in. Everyone on campus is wearing a mask at all times and remaining 6 feet apart from each other. If you're in a classroom, you will keep a mask on the whole time. Some of our classes, we need to get closer than 6 feet, especially in our allied health programs, or even maybe if you were taking an English class, say, and you wanted to work one-on-one with a partner on a project, you might, be closer than 6 feet. And so in that case, we just add a face shield as well on top of the mask. And again, in some of the allied health programs, you might even add more PPE. It might be a hairnet, it might be a gown, it might be gloves, it might be a different kind of mask. And massage has special face shields that rather than coming down over their face, they come up. So we have all kinds of appropriate PPE that keep everyone safe, our visitors, our faculty, our staff, and of course our students safe and comfortable while we're on campus. Now, you know that it does get hot, so we do provide mask breaks when you need it. We have on Claremont's campus and as well at Leb and in our Keene campus, we do have places where you can go if you want to have lunch, take off your mask, where you can do that safely and social distance. We're looking forward to the nicer weather. All of our campuses have beautiful spaces outside where you can sit at picnic tables, and we can't wait to get back to that. It's a little cold to do that right now, but we're looking forward to the weather getting better. So those are the things that you'll do to help keep yourself and everyone else safe. And I just want to quickly tell you that we have all of our same thorough cleaning protocols that we had before the pandemic. Plus, we've added some new cleaning products. We have upgraded all of our air filtration systems to better protect, all of us who are here when we are here. And we've also cut back. So you might notice when you come in that rather than there being 6 or 8 staff in an area, maybe there's only 1 or 2. And that's to protect you. Everyone else is still working. They're just working remotely, and they're always available to you, just like they would be if you were to run into them on campus. Everyone's available on Zoom or for a phone call or an email. We're all still there for you. So Suzanne, is there anything else that you want me to cover that we're doing to keep everyone safe and comfortable in learning during this pandemic?
Jen, I had a question for you, which is, I know that you're very proud of this, so I want to ask this question, but you were the point person to students that had contacted the coronavirus, and yet those students were still able to complete their coursework. How did that happen?
I'm so glad that you asked that. So when we find out that a student even just is sick, because let's be honest, if you're sick, you're not coming to class. We have outfitted our classrooms with new technology that allows our students to Zoom into classes. So maybe your class isn't necessarily set up that you're generally Zooming, but you have come down with the flu, or maybe you have to quarantine, or you're waiting for a test to come back. You can talk to your faculty member and they will work with you. We have had faculty set up everything from don't worry about it, just Zoom into the class, to don't worry about it, I'm going to record the class and send it to you. Don't worry about it, here's something else that you can do instead that covers the same material. Our faculty have bent over backwards to make sure that whatever the situation is for students, whether it's that they're sick or perhaps they have to stay home with a child who's been quarantined, we're dealing with the same thing as faculty and staff. We've had faculty who've had to stay home because I can't be in class because I'm home with my child who's quarantined. So we have been really flexible, and we've really tried to take very good care of our students and be very understanding. I will say that the students who have had COVID have just been amazed that we reached out to say, do you have a safe place to quarantine? Do you have a support network to bring you what you need? Because if not, we can be your, we'll figure out some supports for you, because our students' well-being is really important to us. And I think that they've really felt that care and concern from our faculty and staff.
All right, thank you, Jen. Chris, you're up next.
Okay, well, thank you, Jen. Thank you, President Williams. The first topic, the first program we're going to talk about is actually two programs, our business and accounting programs. And we're really proud of these. Are one of our major programs, gets a lot of students in it, in both these programs, because we not only are they programs for students coming right out of high school or just starting careers, they're also set up to be available and useful for people in business who want to get an advancement in their career situation. And so tonight we're actually have Michelle Kanan, who is the program director and advisor for the accounting department for the accounting program. And she's going to talk to us a little bit about accounting and also about business and just about why these are a couple of great programs. So welcome, Michelle, and you're up on
Thank you.
Thing here.
Thank you. I want to just tag on to one thing you just mentioned. And yes, not only do we have programs for students coming straight out of high school, but also mid-career, career change, and also continuing education. If you want to brush up on your Excel skills, you want to learn QuickBooks, you don't need to commit to a certificate or an entire degree to do that. We have lots of standalone classes that can just give somebody that added skill boost that maybe makes them promotion eligible, as opposed to looking to do an entire career change. So I find that what brought me to accounting really was an interest in doing tax work for people. What I found when I began my own education in that is that it's so versatile. I think we often think about accountants as people who do our taxes, but it can be so much more than that. It is, you can work in government, you can work in nonprofit, you can work for corporations, big and small, and you can also work independently and freelance. I have students who are doing independent bookkeeping for small businesses, which is something that is particularly useful in this area where we do have so many small businesses, and it provides them with the flexibility of being able to work their own hours. And it's also a win-win for the businesses in that the businesses may not be able to take on a full-time bookkeeper, but somebody who freelances among several businesses can often make it more affordable for those business owners. So it's really an incredibly versatile field to be in, and also one that you don't have to attend years and years of school. to be able to get a good job in. As I said, if you want to just enhance some job skills, that's available. If you are looking to do a certificate program, for example, that opens up doors in terms of working as a tax preparer and things like that. You can certainly go through the associates program, which again opens additional doors and transfer opportunities to four-year institutions. And you can, again, continue your education from there. Really, the sky's the limit in this field. And I think that's what makes it most exciting for me is you're not going to be limited once you get an associate's degree to say, okay, well, I've kind of reached my my career cap here. You can continue to move on. And if you decide you're bored in a particular area of accounting, you can easily switch to work in a nonprofit or work in public accounting or corporate. So I think I probably answered your question and then many more, but that's really what I think energizes me about this field.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Just a couple of questions that popped into my head as we were going along. What about the scheduling? If we're talking to people that are already in the business world, obviously you can't have classes in the middle of the day because you've got a job to go to. So
absolutely, and the majority of my students are working. And they're working pretty traditional hours. And, you know, Suzanne, I think, commented about staying close to home. Well, my students generally don't have to leave their homes. We offer classes through Zoom like this, or for students who even find the scheduling of that more than they can do. We have 100% online classes, and they can schedule around their work, the homeschooling of their own children, all of the scheduling conflicts that sometimes can make attending a traditional program a challenge. And so for somebody who's working full time, you will be in good company here because you will find that most of your classmates are in a similar situation.
okay, thank you. Suzanne,
Just a quick one.
You have any other questions or?
Yeah, I was just going to ask Michelle.
Okay.
You touched on some of the work that your graduates are doing. Do you have any particular stories about graduates of recent that maybe started their own bookkeeping or accounting business, or they're working for a firm, just to get an idea of, you know, what's in the area and what's available when these students come out of your program?
I would say that, boy, one would be difficult, but I think of students who've gone directly into nonprofits. I have a student right now who is building her own freelance bookkeeping business. And so that's been a great addition. I have students who are entrepreneurs who are looking to really bolster their own skills because they want to make sure that they are operating their businesses in a fiscally responsible way. And, you know, even if you decide that business or accounting isn't going to be the main focus, frankly, a degree in this area makes you a better employee. Understanding how the money works and how your business is successful and your role in being able to contribute to that will make you more valuable in any environment that you ultimately choose to work in.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Michelle Kanan, the program director for the accounting program.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So we also have a very special guest coming up now. We have had Lisa Gould on the program before. She is the program director for the medical assistant and medical administrative assistant programs here at the college. So welcome, Lisa. How are you?
Thank you, Suzanne. Doing great. Off to preparing for the semester that starts on January 19th.
Now, Lisa, this the healthcare field is in very high demand right now, and you are training entry-level healthcare providers in the medical assistant program and also support staff in the medical administrative assistant program. Can you talk about that and, you know, what it is about that field of study that prompted you to get into it and to then become an educator in the field?
Right. I went through the program when my children were young. So the possibility of working holidays and 12-hour shifts was not going to work with my family situation. So I moved up to Claremont unexpectedly, and they had the medical assisting program, and I went through it at River Valley before it was River Valley. And then I went off and worked in the field for 7 years and came back and became a faculty member. So it was great to have the experience to know exactly what my students and alumni are going through. The demand is at an all-time high because it's ambulatory care. So generally you work Monday through Friday, although there's a lot more openings for MAs, that work in the ER or in urgent care facilities. And they are very popular for one reason, because more elderly people are staying at home, and there's a lot of demand for people in ambulatory care and for medical assistants to provide the support needed at those facilities.
Sorry about that. My mic would not come off mute. Somebody didn't want to hear me. Lisa, that is really good information. I had the pleasure of being in your classroom quite a few times over the last semester. Got to meet some of your students. They really are providing very vital care in the healthcare industry. And can you talk about some of the basic skills that they acquire in the first semester and the second semester, and then, what they are ready to do? What kinds of positions in hospitals or nursing homes or ambulatory care, as you mentioned, are they getting after graduation?
Right. The demand is so high right now that generally my students are hired as soon as they finish their practicum, which is 160 hours in their last semester. The medical administrative assistant is the support when you first walk in. That's the first person you generally see that will take your demographic information, your insurance card, schedule appointments, schedule labs, possibly surgery. Medical assistants work in labs because they have phlebotomy training. They work for specialty practices. They work for any doctor's office. The type of skills they do, they actually are assistants to the doctors. So they would, prepare the patients for the doctor's visit. They would take all the vital signs. They give immunizations from birth all the way up through, giving pneumonia vaccines and flu vaccines. I'm sure they're helping now provide COVID vaccinations. They can give, if they work for any specialty practice, they'll do whatever that specialty provides. It might be an OB, it might be putting on a cast on somebody that's broken arm. So really is a wide variety of skills, and it really depends on where they're working.
And a student that might be interested, say this spring, are they able to start your program in the spring and then, sort of catch up with the incoming fall class? How does that work?
The program has the capability of starting any semester. So, but if they started in the spring, the quickest they could go through would be spring, summer, fall, and the spring. So they would start in January and graduate the following May. But if they start in the summer, I've also had students start in the summer and graduate the following May, but the course load is a lot heavier. So it can really start any semester, and I work with each individual student to map out the academic goal that is best for them. They might only be able to take 2 classes, 3 classes at a time. So we just go through the program and talk about, if they're currently working, they have family demands, and then we make it a possibility for it to happen semester by semester.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much, Lisa Gould, Program Director for Medical Assistant, Medical Administrative Assistant. Anybody at home watching who would like to find out more information can go right to our website, rivervalley.edu. We have information about both of those programs right there under the academic tab. So thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you.
All right, and off to Chris. He's got some more
Okay.
guests.
And before I go on to our next guest, I want to reiterate what Suzanne was just saying. If you're ready right now to jump into taking some classes, be it the medical assistant program or business classes or accounting classes, there's still time, not very much, but there is still a little bit of time for you to jump right in and sign up for and register for some classes, and to apply to a specific program and to get into some classes this spring. Starting the 19th of January is when our semester starts, and so you can jump right in. And you can go on our website and do all of the things through our website. But if you have any questions, you can call our main number that's right there on our website. And there's somebody there to answer your questions and to help you through all of those things. Well, I'm one of them. Suzanne will be one of the others, and there are a couple more that will be answering phones or answering your emails as you go along. And and that leads me into what I'm going to talk about or introduce next. And that's another program that is designed to get you into classes and to start taking classes possibly towards something else. And that program is called the Healthcare Applications Program. And we have Kim Laura Boyle, the program advisor, or one of the program director for that program, who can explain it a little bit better than I can. But it's kind of designed for those who are interested in things like our nursing program or our radiography program or respiratory therapy, those programs that take a little bit more time to actually get accepted into and get into. So I'm gonna turn it over to Kim, and if you can tell us a little bit about that healthcare applications program.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, so Chris did a really good job of kind of summarizing the healthcare applications program. We're really excited. This is a new program. We're graduating our first cohort this May. And the program is really designed for those students who want to get into healthcare but may not know exactly what they want to do. And it's designed to give them a nice broad overview of a number of different areas in healthcare, give them the foundational courses in the general education fields that will make them successful. And if they finish the program, they really have two pathways they can take. They can jump right into a job. The nice thing about the healthcare applications certification is that the student in their final semester gets to tailor it to their interests. The capstone course that we're offering really gives the students some flexibility and lets them choose, if they're interested in food sciences, that they might want to go and become a dietary aide, that's an option. If they're interested in working with the elderly, they can get an additional gerontology certification through the program. If they're interested in general health and wellness, they have the opportunity to become a health and wellness coach. So there's a little bit of tailoring that can happen for those students that want to do the certificate and jump right into the field. The other thing that's nice about this program is that those students who finish the program and earn their certification have basically gone through all of their general education requirements for some of those other allied health programs. So if in the midst of the program they decide, occupational therapy is really the direction I want to go, they haven't lost any ground. They've actually set themselves up really well to transition right into some of our competitive allied health programs.
Great, and that now and those some of those courses will actually apply right into those programs and actually in some cases maybe even enhance their standing, their possibility of being accepted into the program as well, right?
That's absolutely right. We worked really hard when designing this certification to make it so that students can seamlessly move into any of the competitive programs. So they're going to be getting the education in the areas of anatomy and physiology. Those are courses that are required for any student going into some of the associate degree allied health programs. They're getting the foundational skills they need in college composition so that they can write those patient notes. They're getting the foundational skills in math so they can do those med calculations. So it's really designed so that every course they take in the program essentially will transition them right into that associate's degree, which makes their load when they're in their desired major a lot lighter and a lot more manageable for those students that may have family obligations or other job responsibilities that they need to attend to while getting their education.
Yeah, we have so many students that take that path. They use the healthcare applications program for like a pre-nursing program or a pre-radiology or pre-occupational therapy program because they aren't ready to go 100% full-time and may need that refresher with the anatomy and physiology before they can go. So they take the HCAP as we know it, healthcare applications. They're able to get all of those courses under their belt and then move on. So it's a fantastic program. I'm so glad we've added it. And one of the things I think is really great is that for the students who are taking the healthcare applications certificate for the full year, they get to specialize at the end of that year. Kim, can you talk a little bit about that and how they can choose the path of specialty when they do their capstone?
Yeah, so our final course is called Introduction to Healthcare Delivery. And it introduces a lot of very general topics that no matter what field you go into, you're going to need to know about. So for example, they'll get a background in how to transfer a patient safely. They'll get backgrounds in how to take vital signs. They'll get a background in insurance and what that role is, or what the role of insurance plays in healthcare. But they also get to pick a concentration. There are 5 pathways they can take. I mentioned a few of them before: the health and wellness coaching, the dietetic aid, the gerontology. If they're interested in doing more medical work, but they weren't really ready to commit to the medical administrative assistant program, they can get their clinical secretary, which is a little bit different than medical assisting. So there's a lot of ways that can be specialized. And what we're hoping to do as the program matures is allow more offerings for students to specialize. We're kind of looking at what students are interested in and hoping to tailor it in the future.
All right. Well, Kim, you have also got quite a bit of experience in other programs at the college. For instance, you're a faculty member in the physical therapist assistant program. And so perhaps you could talk about that. We have another guest coming on soon who's in the occupational therapy assistant program. And I know the 2 programs, physical therapist assistant and occupational therapy assistant, work very closely at the college. So can you give us just a sort of a broad stroke overview of physical therapist assistant, and then we'll bring Jen in and we can talk to her, and then maybe we'll talk about how you all work together at the college with those 2 programs.
Absolutely, yeah. So my primary role is as a faculty member in the physical therapist assistant program. PTAs, as we call them, are the assistant to the physical therapist. So anybody that has any sort of musculoskeletal condition or neuromuscular condition, perhaps they're recovering from a stroke or surgery, they are often recommended to see a physical therapist to help them regain their motion and their strength. And the physical therapist assistant is going to be the one primarily working with the patients. The physical therapist often has the responsibility of the evaluation and diagnosis and a lot of the paperwork, whereas the PTA is really the one that gets the hands-on experience and gets to see those patients through their rehabilitation process.
Excellent. Yeah, we had some photos running before we went live on YouTube of some of your students in the physical therapist assistant program working on patients, working on each other, but mock patients dressed in their full PPE. So if folks tuned in early, they got to see a little bit of that. Now, a few students have actually decided to do a dual major in physical therapist assistant and occupational therapy assistant. And that I understand is because so many of the courses are required for both. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So I know Jen is going to talk a little bit about occupational therapy assistant. There is some similarities, but there are some also very big distinct role differences between the occupational therapy assistant and the physical therapist assistant. But because there is a lot of overlap, what we've done is we've designed a unique way in which every semester the students are in classes with each other. And this is designed to help mimic what happens in the real world. Physical therapy and occupational therapy as professions work very closely together. So we start from the very first semester getting our students kind of working together, learning together, and that overlap continues throughout the program. And what that does is it allows for students who might be interested in doing both roles to cut down on the length of time that they would need to get both degrees.
Wonderful. All right, well, without further ado then, I would like to introduce the program director for the Occupational Therapy Assistant Program at River Valley Community College. Her name is Jen Saylor. Jen, welcome. It's your first visit with us here on our YouTube Live, so thanks for being with us.
Thank you. It is my first visit, but Kim has laid a fabulous foundation for me, which is nice because it's a great bridge between the two programs. But I am an occupational therapist, and I've been teaching for quite some time at River Valley Community College. And part of the reason I've stayed on faculty is because I believe in the community college system. I believe in the frame and structure that we offer in our classes. I know for myself, I went to community college before I started at a major university, and I had probably the strongest education I've had because it was personalized, it was attentive, and the faculty really were invested in my long-term goals, which was to become an occupational therapist. Before I became an OT, I studied music, which is important to the story of occupational therapy because it speaks to the creative nature of what we do in OT. I think one of the most significant differences in the two disciplines is the treatment of the whole person and the looking at all the subtle nuances of the human condition that the occupational therapist would engage upon with patients and clients in the field. One thing that I have enjoyed in my career has been working with physical therapists. So I was so happy to certainly become a faculty person at River Valley Community College and work so closely with the occupational therapy and PTA faculty. So we have a strong collaborative structure, and our curriculum design complements each other. So the OTA students are exposed to the PTA faculty, and the PTA faculty are exposed to the OTA students, et cetera. So it's really great that they have this, we have this strong curriculum design.
And I was able to get into your classrooms, both the OTA and PTA programs this past fall. You were working in person with very safe distancing and PPE. Can you talk about that and the challenges, of course, that came with it, but also the ability to continue to meet in person and to have students learn in person?
Sure, and if I could kind of go full circle back to what Jen had mentioned about safety and security and keeping our environment safe at River Valley, I have been enormously pleased with the way that we've managed safety through this pandemic at the institution. We really have a strong infrastructure of how we use personal protective equipment. And in the classroom setting, anytime we're closer than 6 feet, we're wearing a face shield. And it's important when we're training health professionals that we are in close contact with each other, but yet we can persist and continue to do this in the academic setting. I think what's most unique about our classes is that we've reduced our lab sizes to an 8-to-1, so 8 students to 1 faculty. So it's small enough, it's contained. Individualized attention has been a real pleasure. I've been teaching at the college. This is my 20th year. And when I started the program, we had much larger lab sizes, but now by condition, we have reduced the lab sizes. And it's actually been a pleasure to really work so closely with the students and give that one-to-one attention. I can say historically, we've always been attentive to our students. So there's no question and a kind of a change in that. But in this condition and situation, we're very sensitive to the needs of students and especially to the needs of what's happening in our society and culture at this time.
And just one last question, Jen. I just wanted to get a feel for what a student who graduates from the Occupational Therapy Assistant Program, what kind of work are they going into? What kind of careers do they start?
Sure. Well, it's interesting because I was just looking at this the other day because I was doing a survey of alumni, and I've done so through several methods, but we have occupational therapy assistants working in school systems, in hospitals, in skilled nursing facilities. I also have a pretty significant handful of occupational therapy assistant graduates that work as case managers, social service personnel. They work in community living situations. They work one-to-one in respite care. Some of them actually are also working in activities, really tapping into that creative and artistic side of themselves, which has been really super for them to continue to explore that. A lot of the students that we have had in the program are coming from diverse backgrounds, but many of them are coming from a study of the arts and also being able to kind of meld that into what they're learning to care for patients and care for children and clients in the field. So it's been, my career has been enormously rewarding, not just because I'm an educator at this juncture, but just as a practicing occupational therapist, and all of the faculty still see patients in the field. I have still enjoyed being able to bring back to the classroom my real-time experience. And I know that our OTA and PTA faculty have done the same.
That is so wonderful. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you sharing that and the wealth of knowledge from your teaching experience as well as your practical experience as a occupational therapist. So thank you. And I know our students are benefiting greatly from that as well.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, and we are now almost at the end of our time. I did want to throw it back to Alfred Williams, the president of the college, to see if he had any parting words before we wrap this up for this evening. Alfred?
Well, Suzanne, you can hear from our faculty and administrators and staff that speak the passion that is really there for River Valley, and how everyone is just so dedicated to helping students succeed and dedicated to the mission of what River Valley stands for, which is educating the people of Western New Hampshire. And as Chris has pointed out, there's still time to get registered for the spring semester. Reach out and we'll help you get on a path towards graduation.
And I always like to mention that, paying for college has become much, much simpler. Not only are there funds available because of the pandemic COVID situation through scholarships and CARES funding, there are also financial aid is also available through our college. So it's never been easier to apply. Studentaid.gov is the website that you want to go to if you're applying to financial aid. You need to apply to that in order to be qualified for the scholarships that we offer. And I'll tell you that we have many scholarships available this year, lots of funding available for students. So if you're interested in going to college and you are trying to figure out how you would pay for it, we can help you. Our financial aid office is there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. You can call us, you can email financial aid, and we'll get you put you right on track to being able to figure out how you're going to make the payment for college work for you. So great. Well, it was so nice to have everybody on tonight. I think Chris has got a couple of words.
I've always got one more thing to say. And in this case, it's that I wanted to make sure that that the people watching us from Vermont, just across the river, know that they are certainly welcome to come to River Valley as well, and to when you're speaking about financial questions, that if you're within a 50-mile distance as the crow flies from one of our campuses, be it Lebanon, Claremont, or Keene, you are eligible for New Hampshire in-state tuition. So it is affordable for you to come from Vermont to go to River Valley just as much as it is for Western New Hampshire students as well. So keep that in mind, and you're always welcome. And again, you can just jump right in and start taking classes before the 19th. So get in touch with us. We're here and we're ready to help you.
That's a good reminder, Chris. I thought for a second you were going to say "Go Bills," and I would have to remind you this is Patriots country. But
well, the Patriots aren't involved this year, so. If you're going to bring it up, I'm going to say go Bills. So.
All right. Well, thank you, President Williams, Chris Garnjos, my co-host. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, folks, on the YouTube channel. We appreciate you watching us, and stay tuned. We'll have more to come.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
My community inspires me.
To embrace the future.
And to be part of something bigger.
My community challenges me.
To give back.
To build something special.
My community truly cares.
About me and my future success.
And about the relationships that we build along the way.
My community?
My community is River Valley Community College.
Enroll now for upcoming classes. Learn more at rivervalley.edu.